is 3:04 from the WTIC 24-hour traffic network, getting ready for the roll home. We're in pretty good shape in the Hartford area for the most part. No major hassles on the area interstates. 84, 91 traveling well for the most part. Route 291 look okay. We have a good ride into and out of Middletown on Route 9. There are some delays down along the shoreline. North and southbound sides of 95, northbound in the West Haven, New Haven area between 43 and 48, southbound out of Long Wharf at 47 down to 43, and we had an earlier issue down in New Haven as well. Eastbound, the 724 connector that's coming right out of downtown, that's a motor vehicle crash in the right lane, so that may be what's leading to some of those delays over on the turnpike. Let's get a look at the WTIC Weather Center forecast. Here's meteorologist Jason Caterina.
For the rest of our Thursday afternoon, some early showers, otherwise mostly cloudy and milder with the high of 46. Then for tonight, breezy, otherwise partly cloudy and cold, the low dipping down to 25. On Friday, plenty of
Scallywags.
windy and colder, though. The high 33 is going to feel like it's down in the 20s at best with the strong west-northwest winds. Then as we head through Friday night, mostly cloudy, the low 15. That sets up Saturday, cloudy and cold. Periods of snow in the afternoon. We'll get an inch or two during the day, the high of 29. Saturday night, some snow early with an additional 1 to 2 inches. Then periods of sleet and freezing rain, the low down to 26. Sunday, cloudy, a bit of snow in the morning, little or no accumulation. Then periods of rain in the afternoon, the high of 34. On Monday, a cold wind with cloudy skies, the high of 29, and it's going to feel a lot colder with that strong west-northwest wind. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Dow's up 349 points on Wall Street. Tech shares leading the way today. The Nasdaq's ahead 251, and the S&P is up 56 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Men, this is Dale.
1 minute.
I generally talk about medicine and effective treatments for erectile dysfunction and other men's sexual health.
All right, cool. I just updated that promo. So
love is the best reason to get treated for your ED. You see, ED can cause major relationship issues. In fact, men often push their partners away when ED becomes a problem. The condition can cause depression, arguments, breakups, and even contribute to divorce. But the good news is that if you're like most men suffering with ED, you can be successfully treated at Northeast Men's Health and put a stop to the relationship stresses that ED can cause. I say this with all confidence because we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Truly, it's likely you'll find you're performing like you haven't in years. Women and get love back in your love life. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices.
All right, here we go.
Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Let's go.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your bass. Reese is all over.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
And we've got a show for you today, and it will be interesting. Perhaps not as controversial as yesterday's show was. Which, by the way, I want to thank everybody who sent me all of your kind and well wishes after yesterday's show. The things that people wrote to me were so mean. How dare you say those things? And what was with the pick a bale of cotton? And I was like, I'm sorry, were you offended? Mission accomplished. I was very, very happy. Even my wife shook her head after she listened to the show after. She shook her head and just went, goodness, man, do you need Jesus? Trust me, today will be worse because I'm going to go after another sacred cow in the DEI affirmative action leftist liberal dogma. I'm going to have a conversation about black women today. And I think that the reason why it's such a problem to talk about this is because you're not even supposed to speak about black women. So today we are going to do two different monologues because something came over the wire that I have to address earlier. But it's going to be called How Black Women Are Destroying the Democrat Party. But before you start to ask yourself, well, Reese, are you trying to save it? No, I need Sister Girl to destroy it. I want Sister Girl destroying the Democrat Party, and they're going to let them because the Democrat Party is scared to death of the black woman. They will let that black woman run their party into the ground, lest they be called racist for speaking up and pushing back on black women. You might remember it during Kamala Harris, during her, inception into the presidential race. We played audio here. I can't find a woman's audio now, but it was that white women for Kamala, where the woman who was leading it said that do not ever criticize a black woman in her experience. She says, take a beat and let the black women reign. And because of this fear, the Democrat Party is going to follow the lead of black women. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of examples of how this demographic, if not checked in the party, will be its doom. And I couldn't be happier. Because, listen, as a young black man, I understood this very early on. And I know, like I said, women are going to be outraged by this, but I'm going to give examples and I will let their words speak for themselves. You don't have to take my word for it. That's what we do here. I don't sit up here and opine to you about what I think. I let their words do all the talking. And then you'll call in 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842, and tell me that, of course, I was right. But I need to get into something a little earlier than that, a little more dire than that. Listen closely. On this program and many others in the country, we have talked about the sexualizing of children through the LGBTQ community in schools. We've talked about it ad nauseum. People called us transphobic, homophobic. We tried to rein in the schools and we told them that under normal circumstances, these things would not be allowed, and we were creating a culture where dealing with these things of sexuality inside the classrooms and keeping the parents out of the loop were going to create problems, legal problems, if not criminal problems inside the classroom, while they continue to sexualize these children. We've got an issue now with Bob Duff wanting genderqueer and other books inside the libraries of your school. And there are plenty of you liberals out there who are standing by him, There are plenty of you out there that are saying it's no big deal. And there are teachers who are rallying around Bob Duff and this idea that we must protect our gay, lesbian, transsexual children. But I keep asking the question, as many others do, at what cost? Well, I would like to, folks, if I could, sit by. This is difficult to do on radio, so doing it, and I do it often, I am bucking the trend. I used to do these types of things on my podcast because people watched it visually. So many of you will be listening on the radio. Some of the scallywags are already in watching it. But I want you folks in your cars or sitting at your desks to listen to this story out of Columbine High School. Yes, that Columbine High School from 1999. I want you to hear this story. You may call this an outlier, but I'm expressing to you that this is what we call the gateway to mayhem. Ladies and gentlemen, misconduct you will not believe inside Columbine High School.
There's like this icky feeling that something's wrong, and then as it progressed, it only got worse.
Heather McCormick says there were red flags at Columbine High School long before the school district hired investigators who found teacher Leanne Carney had been grooming a female student. McCormick is friends with that student's mother.
And there wasn't one person who stood up and was like, something doesn't seem right, and reached out to the parents.
Instead, school emails obtained through an open records request show counselors purposefully kept the parents in the dark while they helped their daughter fill out a federal form declaring herself homeless so she could move in with a teacher.
I think it's really scary that we can take teenagers or children of any age and just say, whatever you say is truth, we're not going to investigate it. We're going to take big steps to declare you homeless without notifying your family.
Investigators say Principal Scott Christie also knew about the girl's plans and didn't tell her parents. McCormick says the mom stumbled upon the homeless document while cleaning her daughter's room and later found a letter describing her daughter kissing Carney, along with thousands of calls and texts between the two. She says she sent Carney a message warning her it needed to stop, and then took the calls and texts to the principal, who she says dismissed them, telling her Miss Carney takes interest in helping kids navigate their sexuality.
That all sound familiar to you folks? That's what the teachers are telling us right here in Connecticut and across the whole country. They're helping your child navigate through their sexuality. They're helping your children. Some legislators want to pass laws that will make parents enemies, make them criminals, if they even question this behavior. While the school assisted this teacher and the student in lying, saying that the child was homeless, because again, protecting the girl's sexuality while she's having an affair with the teacher.
You think the school would have reacted differently had Carney been a male teacher?
Oh, absolutely.
Carney quit, but it would take 2 years and pressure from the mom before she lost her teaching license. McCormick says her friend lost far more. When her daughter turned 18, she moved out of state with the teacher.
It's really scary to think that there are schools and teachers and administrations that are working behind your back, not in the best interest of your child.
Jeffco School District sent me a statement saying, obviously, the student did not meet the criteria to be considered homeless, and the staff involved in this isolated incident were addressed as part of the investigation, as the proper channels in place were not followed. While we have taken every step to remove this former employee from Jeffco and prevent her working in another educational setting, we recognize this is of little comfort to the family. We deeply regret how profoundly this violation has affected the family.
Still don't think that we need reforms in our education systems? Still don't think that the Board of Education, if not the curriculum altogether, needs to be addressed? Still wondering why our children are reading at 4th grade levels, some at 3rd grade levels, while they take on the mantle of sexuality as their dogma? Still think that we need to put more and more money into these institutions, lining the pockets of teachers who are permitting this kind of behavior to go on? Somebody's got to make it make sense. You want to hear something wild? If you thought that story was wild, Sunny Houston of The View, she said something that you want to talk about being gobsmacked when I heard it. Gobsmacked when I heard it. Listen to Sunny Houston talk about the reason why Donald Trump is trying to reform the school system.
It's not really about saving money. No. I think there's a much more nefarious reason for it. I think it's because without education, you get cheaper labor. I think what they want to do is create in the United States a permanent underclass, a permanent cheap workforce, because educated workers cost more. That is the bottom line, and that's what they're doing.
Sunny Houston's under the impression that the school system has been producing some highbrow people. Is that woman reading off my homework papers? Is she insane? She thinks that the reason why we want to dismantle the school system is because they've been producing the most elite students in the world. And by getting rid of it, we want... I couldn't believe it when I heard it. I couldn't believe it. Linda McMahon today.
The bottom line is because it's not working. Department of Education was set up in 1980, and since that time we have spent almost $1 trillion, and we have watched our performance scores continue to go down. I do believe that it is a responsibility to make sure that our children do have equal access to excellent education. I think that that is best handled at the state level, closest to the states, working with state administrators, teachers, parents, who should have input into their curriculum.
That's right. Parents who should be involved in those classrooms, not an administration that excises parents from it, which is exactly what you saw in the last 4 years. Sending FBI agents to take down parents' license plates numbers as they showed up to school board meetings. Sending police officers to drag parents to the ground because their children had been assaulted by a transgender boy who they quietly moved to another school only to have that child abuse another child in the bathroom. I love the way these people now are talking about education like they're here to save it. Where you been? You were protecting the status quo, or at least the new one. That story is the problem everybody's had over the last couple of years, especially with this new curriculum, with the undercover investigations, with the hidden camera conversations that Project Veritas and James O'Keefe, those sting operations that you watch on videos on YouTube, the ones that we've talked about here, catching these teachers. Remember Koskob with the vice principal? All of those things. Teachers working and protecting a teacher in school to have an affair with a student, helping that student lie on government forms, never telling the parent, never reporting it, knowing that the teacher was involved with that student. Not one person stepped up. We've heard stories of abuse even in this state, in and around, where no one said anything. We just got a story recently, Jewish school. We got the Cromwell school. Everybody keeping things under wraps. Now when somebody wants to come in and reform it, everybody's losing their mind. Refused to lose their mind while all of this stuff was going on. Right there. Refused to cover the education system when we were talking about it right here. Screaming to the rafters, why isn't anybody covering it? Now all of a sudden it's the most important news of the day. Why? Because someone's coming in to disrupt it. Didn't matter how criminal it was, what criminal behavior was going on, what things that they were allowing to happen as they turned to the other side and said, nope, not on, I didn't see anything. No criminal charges. Even the teachers who knew what was going on and assisted the student in lying about her well-being, about whether or not she was homeless. These teachers conspired with another teacher for her to have an affair with the student. And the school district didn't say that anybody was disciplined. They just addressed it. Where's the outrage? Where's the accountability? There is none. Don't worry, folks. I say this only to reiterate what is a fact. It's all over. It's over for every one of these people, not just the people who are committing these acts, but the people who are covering up and the news media refusing to report on it. It doesn't matter anymore. Everybody knows. And it's getting shut down. The only thing they could do is run around and protest. The only thing they could do is hold these town hall meetings where they scream at each other. What are you going to do? They're going to do nothing. The only thing they can do is wring their hands. Their reign of terror is over. That's all. That's all. We'll take a break. Soon I will stick my foot in it. I will kick the hornet's nest. Are black women destroying the Democrat Party? Let's hope so. I know that's mean, but we'll take your phone calls. If you want to call in and opine about this story at Columbine High School, please do. The number is 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Also, go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. You can watch the program if you're sitting at your desk. That's REESE on the radio.com. If you wish to opine in the chat room, because I'll read your comments as they're coming up. And trust me, people are joining in. So let's get those numbers up in the chat room. I want to hear from some new people in there too. Nothing against you scallywags and nutmeggers. I love you. But let's get some new people in there as well. All right, we'll take a break. We'll be back. It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Are you a proud Connecticut business owner? We are too, with more than 45 years of experience handling business transactions for small and mid-sized businesses. And we know that not every business relationship works out as planned. If you find yourself in a dispute, call the law firm of Brown, Painderis & Scott. Our team of business lawyers have over 100 years of combined experience. At BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a law firm. Call us at 860-CALL-BPS or visit bpslawyers.com. Nick Painderis is responsible for the content of this ad.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hers weight loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded.
Everyone's talking about the breakthrough of weight loss drugs, but too few can access or afford them. Hers is changing that. At forhers.com/radio, you can access doctor-trusted weight loss treatments tailored to you, like GLP-1 weekly injections with the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy, or oral medications at a fraction of the price. That's right. You'll save up to 91% per month on compounded semaglutide based on pricing through Hers, the same active ingredient as the name brand drug at 91% less. There's no hidden fees and no membership fees, just one low, transparent price. And the process is 100% online. If prescribed, your personalized plan ships free directly to your door. Get started at forhers.com/radio to access affordable doctor-trusted weight loss plans that put you first. That's forhers.com/radio. FORHERS.com/radio.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it.
but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, HIMS can help. Through HIMS.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
And now, a WTIC news update.
3:30, good afternoon, I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Delays in flights out of Tweed, New Haven Airport today. Officials say they had a security incident. Someone said there was a bomb on a plane. That closed the terminal, required re-screenings. That person was arrested on charges of breach of peace, and passengers should check with their airline. There still could be some delays as a result of that incident. Norwalk man charged in the death of an infant. 27-year-old Kyle Vignal is charged. They say last June 11th, he called 911 to report the 4-month-old choking on formula. Death was later ruled a homicide. The investigation, police say, found the child had been neglected and suffered from malnutrition. Senate has confirmed Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as the new health secretary. Vote largely along party lines. Republican Mitch McConnell voted no. Meantime, Linda McMahon, the former two-time GOP Senate nominee from Connecticut, before senators today for her confirmation hearing to be the next Secretary of Education. State police made an arrest in connection with several road rage incidents on 84 in Waterbury on Tuesday. Suspect, 27-year-old Robert Misericordia. He allegedly got out of his car while parked on the highway, kicked into the victim's vehicle while wielding a machete. WTIC News Time is 3:31.
Apple cider vinegar,
the 24-hour traffic network. We're in pretty good shape as we get rolling for this ride home. No major delays to report in the Hartford area. We're traveling well along 84 and 91. Route 2, 5, and 15 look okay. We had an earlier problem down in New Haven. That seems to be clear. Still some leftover delays, though, on the northbound side of 95, the West Haven, New Haven area, between 43 and 48. WTIC Weather Center sees cloudy skies for what's left of this afternoon. It's breezy, turns partially clear tonight, upper 20s, and then lots of sun tomorrow, windy and colder, with highs in the low 30s. 38 is the temperature right now in Hartford. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Ever feel like there aren't enough hours in the day? If you get busy or miss your favorite show, don't worry. With Rewind, available exclusively on the free Odyssey app, you can stream your favorite shows on demand. You know your day is better with us. Get the news that matters to you from the local voices you trust. No matter what you're up to, give it a try. To get started, download the free Odyssey app and search for your station. That's AUDACY.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
A new president is sworn in. America's greatness is being restored. And there's breaking news every minute. Now, tens of millions of Americans are turning off Fox and CNN and tuning in to Newsmax for the breaking information they really need to know. Reuters Institute says Newsmax is one of the top news brands in America. Find it yourself on all major cable systems and on your TV or smartphone store. Just download the Newsmax app for free and start watching. You'll get great shows with Rob Schmidt, Greta Van Susteren, Rob Finnerty, and Carl Higbie, and more. Find out why millions of Americans have made the switch. Even President Trump says Newsmax is terrific, and he's watching. So make the switch to Newsmax. Check us out on cable and satellite TV or download the Newsmax app today. Watch us anytime, anywhere. Remember, Newsmax is real news for real people.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad.
Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 10% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
I want to learn how
1 minute.
take out.
I planned to rearrange my closet, but I stopped after picking the clothes up off the floor.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's award-winning language learning app will help you start speaking another language. Start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Comment tu t'appelles?
Comment tu t'appelles? Vous êtes où?
Vous êtes où?
Babbel's bite-sized lessons make it easy to learn words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks,
"How's your French going?"
you can say,
Babbel est amusant et facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue. Et cela ne prend que 15 minutes par jour.
when you want to really learn another language,
What she said.
it starts with Babbel. Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscribers. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
How would you like to win a trip for 4 on a Disney Destiny cruise liner? And winning is easy. Just download the free Odyssey app if you don't already have it, and you can log in and listen to WTIC for 1 hour each day. That's a minimum of 1 hour each day, and one lucky listener will win a trip for 4 to set sail on the Disney Destiny cruise liner. Rama, thank you for this audio clip. This was what I was talking about with White Women for Kamala. It went like this.
Phone call, cut 4.
I'm going to share some do's and don'ts for getting involved in politics online. Don't make it about yourself. As white women, we need to use our privilege to make positive changes. If you find yourself talking over or speaking for BIPOC individuals, or God forbid, correcting them, just take a beat.
God forbid correcting them.
Just take a beat.
Just take a beat. How dare you correct them? Don't you dare bother. We'll get into that in a little bit. Thank you for that,
I thought that was Saturday Night Live the first time I heard it.
I remember when I played it here. You didn't believe it then. You were like, really? Are they serious? Yes, she was serious. So let's get to the phones real quick. I got at least an interesting one. Kim, I'm assuming this is Kim in Cromwell, right, Kim?
This is Kim from Prospect. I called you yesterday at 3, and you said to call back today.
You got it, Kim. I'm sorry. What's up?
That's all right. I'll make it fast. So I called yesterday to alert people that the Democrats are trying to push a bill. It's Senate Bill SB 1271. And what this bill will do is they're calling it a bill to protect librarians and libraries from crazy parents, that don't want sexually explicit materials in their kids' school libraries. But this bill is very dangerous because, number one, at the very least, this bill says that your challenge to any book can be denied if it's interpreted that you are speaking against a protected group.
Right.
So basically, if you say, I don't want my kids learning about anal sex, and this book shows boy on boy,
right,
then you will be labeled a homophobe and your challenge is denied. The worst of this bill is it says any school personnel, from principal to teacher to library media specialist, can take action against a parent for a number of things, including the all-encompassing emotional distress.
Wow.
Yes. Now, the hearing is taking place right now in the the Committee for Children in the Senate. So it's a little late to fill out the online testimony form, but it was sponsored by Bob Duff, who is nothing short of a jerk. And anybody can call the Senate Democrats or Bob Duff's office and say that absolutely there should be no bill that, number one, limits a parent's ability to challenge books in their kids' libraries, especially things that are sexually explicit.
Indeed.
And no parent should be sued for speaking up or should be open to being sued simply for speaking up.
Now, Kim, did you...
This bill goes through.
Kim, did you hear
no
the...
parent will ever say a word.
Kim, did you hear
sorry,
the opening? It's okay. Did you hear the opening of the show where I played this news report out of Colorado, the Columbine School? Did you hear this?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not.
So in essence, and again, that was the reason why I told you to come back, because I heard about this story was literally breaking on my feed that I get sent to me. So I get these very, very interesting articles that are sort of topical. So when you brought this up yesterday at the end of the show, I got immediately an alert to this story in Columbine. And you remember infamously the Columbine High School back in 1999. Well, the story, because you're late to it, and for those of you who just joined, the story talks about how there was a teacher at Columbine High School that was having an open relationship inside the school, and the teacher and the student and the faculty assisted the girl in filling out paperwork to say that she was homeless so that she could leave her parents' home and live with the teacher. The only way the parent found out was because the form, the kid, kids being kids, leaving their mess around, the mother was cleaning up her daughter's bedroom and found this document claiming herself as being homeless. The part that makes this crazy was that the teachers in that school were assisting her in filling out this fraudulent document.
Right.
So this is pretty much, I was saying what you're saying. Like what we're seeing is an active faculty in schools around the country, especially here in Connecticut, Bob Duff now, your elected officials, that are in essence sexualizing children and then making legislation based upon that, and then hamstringing parents, and if not criminalizing them if they resist.
Right. And let me tell you, I was a teacher for 37 years. One of the reasons why I retired is because in my middle school, I was alerted that a girl wanted to be now called a boy's name and that she would be telling her parents that evening. And I said, hold on, you want me to switch what I'm calling this child before they have even alerted their parents? And they said to me, this is state law.
Wow.
And it is state law. If a kid declares, the schools have to run with it before they even tell the parents. I'm telling you, it's happening right under our noses here in Connecticut, and people have got to wake up and speak up now.
Why do you think that there's been no, because again, look, I'm looking at this like any other normal person. I know the kids are in the background. Let me ask you that. I don't understand how something like this, that any average person would say, okay, if they even knew what these books were, even the local news media doesn't even have that conversation in their newsrooms to bring it to the attention of the people in the state. Why do you think that is? Is it because they're nothing more than stenographers for people like Bob Duff and the Democrats? Or is it not juicy enough of a story? Like, what do you think the reason is?
I think they just don't want to put it out there. I mean, let's face it. People have gone before boards of ed and read from these books, and the Board of Ed shuts them down.
Yeah.
It's too explicit. I showed pictures of some of these books, screenshots of pages of these books on Facebook, and I was restricted.
Yeah, they'll tell you.
Can be in a school
right.
library.
Exactly.
I
in fact,
tell you that Connecticut. Connecticut Sentinel did publish 2 articles. One,
Yeah.
most recently this week, that told the dangers of this bill, and one, I believe, last week that went through some of the books and some of the examples of books that are being found in kids' libraries. So that's about the only publication I've seen that has gone into detail.
Yeah.
And
Mike,
the people that you talk to say, no, these books don't exist.
yeah,
There's
Michael
there's
B.
no such thing.
Michael B., who's one of our scallywags in the chat room, sent me I guess a screenshot that he had posted pictures. He's been one of the biggest, people raging against Bob Duff about this book. So he was trying to prove his point. So he posted photographs of the animation or the cartoons of the book Gender Queer, and Facebook flagged them as pornographic. So which he then used as, look, if Facebook's saying that this stuff is pornographic, why don't you consider it as such? And no one's been responding to him, and it makes no sense. But it's
and you can't do anything about, if a parent wants to buy these books at Amazon and have a Friday night reading session in their own homes, that's fine. The parents should be able to speak up in their communities without threat of being sued or being labeled. Some of the names that those of us on the right are always labeled.
Yeah.
This bill cannot pass. So people need to speak up. We made a big deal about the EV mandate, and we got them to back off for a little while. I don't think it's completely dead, but they definitely backed off. There have been a couple of things where people's voices, even in this Democrat state, they make a difference. So people have to get on the horn today or tomorrow, and even though it's too late to submit testimony for the committee meeting,
Right.
They can still let their voices be heard, and they got to do it.
Is the committee Kim? Is the committee meeting being held on YouTube? Can anyone view it
It is
now?
on YouTube.
Okay.
Yes, but it's not interactive.
No,
So
that's
the
why they
difference
never.
might
Yeah,
actually
they'll cut off the comments after people start protesting and they don't want to hear from those people.
Right.
They'll immediately cut off the comments. Okay, I'm gonna check on it during the break and see as much as I can. I'm pretty sure they'll keep it up there and see if we can get any sound bites to pull from it. But we appreciate you. Thank you for calling back today.
Thank you.
You got it.
Bye-bye.
My pleasure. Yeah, Kim talked about this yesterday, which again got me focused on this story out of Columbine, which is, look, this is something we've been warning about. And there's this one part in the article that was interesting, or that particular news report that was interesting at the end. Someone, the reporter had asked the woman there, what would have happened if the teacher were male and the child were female? And every police and law enforcement agency would have been called from the get-go. They would have gone berserk. But again, because the teacher is part of the LGBTQ community, everybody assisted her in having an affair with this child. And it's insane. But again, that's where we are. That's exactly where we are. And I'm baffled by this, that it is difficult to get these people to realize the error in their ways. But I thought about this earlier today, and I think somebody was already talking about the midterm elections, because again, who isn't campaigning after an election? But someone off the cuff had said, I don't know how Democrats or liberals or progressives at all expect to gain any ground in the midterm elections. And I thought about it today, and I said, you know what, if you're running, if you're thinking about running, now's the time. Now's the time. Because you could probably run against any one of these seats, especially in Congress. And you could run against any of these seats and ask them whether or not they support bills like these or proposals like Bob Duff is promoting, and get them on the record and see whether or not they're for the sexualization of children in the classroom or in their libraries, or if they're gung-ho on things like reparations and the LGBTQ agenda, and whether or not they're for turning the education system back over to parents. Those are things you can run on in Connecticut. It sounds crazy. There may be a lot of activists in the state, but a lot of them will not stick their neck out for some of these things that are going on. And I think that, look, guys like Bob Duff can do that because he knows he's not running up. There are no headwinds here. There are no real headwinds here. No one's going to challenge them. If anything, they're either going to ignore them or they're going to echo them or make excuses for that behavior. So we'll see. We'll talk about that. When we come back, again, as I promised, are black women destroying the Democrat Party? I will show you the evidence. I have a long list of names. And some audio sound bites to boot that are showing you exactly how the Democrats are allowing. I mean, maybe it's on purpose. I don't know. This could be possible. But we'll play all of it when we get back. And, of course, your phone calls at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. It's Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Men, this is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And though I generally talk about medicine and effective treatments for erectile dysfunction and other men's sexual health issues, today I want to talk about love, because love is the best reason to get treated for your ED. You see, ED can cause major relationship issues. In fact, men often push their partners away when ED becomes a problem. The condition can cause depression, arguments, breakups, and even contribute to divorce. But the good news is that if you're like most men suffering with ED, you can be successfully treated at Northeast Men's Health and put a stop to the relationship stresses that ED can cause. I say this with all confidence because we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Truly, it's likely you'll find you're performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and get the love back in your love life. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices in the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Paid for by government.
1 minute.
Of America's Silver Eagle coin series, there's never been a mint state coin struck with a special privy mark until now. That's right, the world's most popular silver bullion coin has just been struck with a special star privy mark. Silver Eagles are the best-selling silver coin since first being introduced by the U.S. Mint in 1986. This is an amazing and historic event, but you must hurry. A strict limited edition mintage has been set, and once they are gone, they are gone. These first ever Silver Eagles are brand new legal tender coins, minted in 99.9% pure silver by the Philadelphia Mint. For a limited time radio offer, save $5 off every coin. Just call 1-800-473-3993 to secure the first ever star privy marked Mint State Silver Eagle coin. Plus receive free shipping, but you must call now. Call 1-800-473-3993 now to secure this first ever silver. That's 1-800-473-3993.
President of the Chris Murphy Fan Club, Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Speaking of Chris Murphy, I've got a crazy story tomorrow in the stupidest thing I read today. Because I'm so backed up with so many stories that I'm reading, I'm going to get into a story. He's in the Advocate, and I'm not even going to talk about it. I just wait until tomorrow. It's a great story, only because it's laughable, but we'll get into that tomorrow as well. Like I said, coming up in the next hour, are black women destroying the Democrat Party? Yes, I agree, and I have evidence to boot. I do want to ask a question. If you're in the chat room or if you want to call in, please do. I'm interested in your take on something that I discovered listening to Joe Rogan and in some other place. It's called NeuroGum. Are you familiar with it? I'm not going to do any advertising for it and such, but I actually bought some. And again, I didn't really talk to anybody. I've never really asked anyone about it. Have you heard of this, Roland, at all? NeuroGum? Does it sound familiar?
Never.
No? Okay, so apparently it's supposed to be like brain food. And don't get me wrong, it tastes awful. It's like Nicorette in a way, but I can't stop chewing it. I consider it a what's the word Nicorette I described as an edible car accident. You can't help but chew it. It's like it tastes awful, but I can't get enough of the stuff because it has such a weird taste. It's like I know it's supposed to be good for you. So if there's anyone who's ever tried it, please let me know. Because I bought like a case of it. Not like it doesn't come in a big case. It looks like it's about the size of a small box. But I've been eating it lately a lot, and I love it. Like lion's mane mushroom. Oh, no, I've never tried that, but I have heard of it. Lots of caffeine. Yes, Spawn, you're 100% right. It does have caffeine, but they say that it's got some brain food in it as well. I can't pronounce the word, but and plus the print is so darn small, I can't, something called theoline or some stuff like that. I can't remember what it is, but I've been trying it out, and I really do like it, even though it doesn't taste great. I'm really love it. Like, you need to be smarter. Well, they say it keeps, you should always keep your brain, like, I like to play silly, those little games online where you're learning how to, like, concentration. Those things are great little things for you to do. But then I heard about this, and people said that they enjoy it. They go through a whole pack of it, and I'm not going to lie. I tried it once, and I can't stop. And I hope it doesn't become like habit forming or addicting, because I am about to celebrate next month. I can't remember the date, but I know it's next month.
That sounds like
what?
When you're flipping through the TV and you catch a movie that's horrible,
and you can't stop watching it,
but you keep watching it till the end, and you just wasted your time.
No, but I know. But listen, I'm first of all, in that vein, you know what that is? Infomercials. I'm addicted to them. If an infomercial's on, like on Sunday when there's no football on, no football, no baseball, no real sports, if it's Sunday and an infomercial comes on, like that guy who does the set it and forget it thing, I will watch that 3 times in a row. It doesn't matter how many times. I'll never buy the stuff, but I will watch it. It's overwhelmingly addictive. And I will just keep watching it and keep watching it. Like the guy who used to do the Gazelle, that guy, I watch that all the time. And why can't I remember this guy? Not Billy Blanks? The other guy who died of a cocaine overdose, who used to sell all of the cleaning stuff. I can't remember his name.
Billy Maine?
Billy what? Billy Maine. Is it Billy Maine? Billy Mays. Billy Mays. Yes, yeah. Billy Mays. That's him. My kids used to wake up in the middle of the night with that on the TV. I love Billy Mays. And that voice was so annoying, but he's the reason why I got addicted to those ridiculous infomercials. Billy Mays was overwhelmingly addicted to that stuff. Let's go to Mark Christopher in the first check of the traffic in the BPS Traffic Center. Do you ever watch those, Mark? The infomercials? You ever get caught up in those?
Billy Mays now. Which one did he do?
I don't know.
He was famous.
He didn't do ShamWow, but he did some type of weird stuff. He would always do the cleaning stuff.
Was he the guy with the really dark hair?
Yes, and the heavyset guy with the beard.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that
Yeah.
I couldn't believe he died of a cocaine overdose. I'm like,
I know.
No, I thought his energy was natural.
Yeah, no, he.
Yeah, like who overdoses on cocaine anyway?
Down on the set over there, and he got fired. Because, how to make some of these things, how do you make them sound exciting? I can see where he might have had to turn to that.
Yeah, but he made all of that. He made all of that exciting. I would watch him for hours. It didn't matter. I was like, look, he cleaned the carpet with just one squirt.
How did that work? How does that? I have to use so much elbow grease just to get a little stain out. He doesn't. It just goes away magically. I could watch. You know who I could watch?
Who's that?
For hours is Bob Ross.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Make a little swish in the sky. Oh my God.
What was it? Happy Little Clouds?
Yeah. Happy little clouds, happy little trees, happy little prairies. Whatever it did, man, it knocked me out. All my worries went away for like a half an hour when I watched him. It was amazingly tranquil for me. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, 84 eastbound, looking at delays about half a mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. Westbound 84 is a little tight coming out of the tunnel out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. Southbound 91 in Hartford slows 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound 91 moving well Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291, 384, okay east of the river. 2 eastbounds are good shape, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury looks okay, 84 and 8. And on 95 southbound New Haven, a little tight, 44 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
For the rest of our Thursday afternoon, we'll get a couple of showers early. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and milder, the high 46. Breezy tonight, otherwise partly cloudy and cold, the low down to 25. We'll get plenty of sunshine on Friday. A colder day, though, windy too. The high 33 is going to feel like it's well down in the 20s at best with the strong west-northwest winds. Then Saturday, cloudy and cold, periods of snow in the afternoon, an inch or two during the day, the high of 29. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
4 o'clock, good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. President Trump ushering in new trade tariffs. Correspondent Linda Kenyon is at the White House.
The president calls them reciprocal tariffs. In signing an executive order, Trump said these tariffs will be imposed on products from any nation that imposes tariffs on U.S. products.
This is a much simpler way of doing it, much better.
When asked if those tariffs would lead to higher prices here at home,
I think what's going to go up is jobs are going to go up. And prices could go up somewhat short term, but prices will also go down.
Most economists say the tariffs would amount to a tax increase on American consumers. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Senate has confirmed vaccine skeptic Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to be the new Health and Human Services Secretary. House Minority Leader Chuck Schumer.
Mr. Kennedy might be one of the least qualified people that Donald Trump could have chosen for the job. There were so many others who would have been
The
better.
only no vote among Republicans from Kentucky's Mitch McConnell, a polio survivor. Final vote was 52 to 48. Linda McMahon, the two-time GOP Senate nominee from Connecticut, meeting with senators today as they consider her nomination as Education Secretary.
He pledged to make American education the best in the world, return education to the states where it belongs, and free American students from the education bureaucracy through school choice. November proved that Americans overwhelmingly support the president's vision, and I am ready to enact it.
Flights at Tweed New Haven Airport were delayed today following a security incident. Airport said in a statement that out of an abundance of caution, the terminal was temporarily closed for a full security sweep. Around 11 o'clock this morning, someone made a remark about a bomb being on aboard a flight, an Avello flight to Charlotte Concord. All passengers were rescreened by the TSA. The investigation confirmed there was no bomb. Airport officials say the person accused of making the remark was arrested by New Haven police and charged with breach of peace. Ukraine's President Zelensky says he'll not accept any agreements that come from a planned Trump-Putin talk on the war if Ukraine isn't part of it. In the meantime, in NATO HQ, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said the U.S. and its allies need to make NATO great again.
This administration believes in alliances. But make no mistake, President Trump will not allow anyone to turn Uncle Sam into Uncle Sucker.
And Valentine's Day is tomorrow, and the warnings are out concerning romance scams. Connecticut Better Business Bureau warns that there are scammers who form phony relationships with victims through online dating only to build enough trust with the victims to get money out of them before vanishing. Spokeswoman Kristen Johnson, Connecticut BBB, says there are ways to find out if someone you meet is legit.
They make all these excuses of why they can't meet you in person, or they don't even want to video chat. Although I would caution that because of our artificial intelligence, these scammers are now able to create video chat.
Closing Bell Report sponsored by Bouvier Insurance. Dow up 342. NASDAQ up 295. S&P up 63 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hey, Tom Shattuck here. Free for life. Just by saying that, you already know that I'm referring to Awaken 180. They're the only company providing it. Fast, proven weight loss, and then keep it off thanks to free support for life. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Coverage varies by plan, view contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto... Now for your free quote, call 800-380-9012. 800-380-9012. Again, that's 800-380-9012.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Yeah, Billy Mays for OxyClean. Thank you guys in the chat room. That's why I rely on my scallywags. They are absolutely there in a pinch. Oh, I forgot. My bad.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be. This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
What is the stupidest thing I read today? I actually read this yesterday, and I couldn't believe that I forgot it, but I had to put it on there. Look, we're old folks. We are in our 50s, and if you are a Generation Xer, you know that we were the last generation of hard workers. Why? Because we're not that removed from the baby boomer and the greatest generation. We had the greatest generation as our grandparents, and our generation worked, well, the generation before us worked pretty hard too, because we had everything. I mean, the 80s was the sort of the me generation, the opulent generation. We grew up in the 80s as teenagers. So, of course, we've watched generations behind us get more and more lazy. In fact, you might remember the generation after us became the slacker generation. Remember that? Well, it's gotten so bad now, folks, that this is an actual story. You got to go to reeseontheradio.com in order to read it. REESE on the radio.com. It couldn't be more stupid than what I'm about to explain to you. So apparently even the mob is having a hard time getting hard workers. According to wiretaps in Italy, in Sicily in particular, according to wiretaps, there were, I guess, mobsters or alleged mafia folks who were on the wiretaps complaining about the young people that they were recruiting into the mafia and talking about how lazy they were and how like they have absolutely no commitment to the protocols or the behaviors. In essence, you know, the not snitching and things like that. You got to read the article. As I read it, I went, no way. So even the mafia can't get kids, which again, if you don't, do you understand? Like if you don't follow the protocol of the mafia, allegedly, you know, that's, you know, it's ipso facto over. But they were caught on wiretaps complaining that you just can't get good help from the younger generation. I think that was the most insane thing I read in my entire life. So it matters not, Mark Christopher, at a BPS Traffic Center, no matter what work you are in, be it legal or in this case, the Cosa Nostra, you can't get good help from the young people.
No, I don't know what happened to the work ethic. I don't know.
Even in the mob.
Really? I mean,
they're saying the wiretaps. They're saying we tried to hire some young kids to join the mob, and he says they either snitch on each other or they don't show up to work. They're all layabouts. I'm like, the mafia can't get good work.
Snitching on each other is not a good idea in that line of work. No, not a good idea. Hey, Reese, thank you very much. If you're heading into Hartford right now, Southbound side of 91, you got delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound 91, no issues. Cromwell up into Windsor Locks. Little slowdown westbound 84 tunnel out to 46 Sisson Avenue. 84 eastbound slowing about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291 through 84, okay, 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown, 9 in the Aragodi Bridge, no delays. Waterbury right now, 84 and 8. And 95 south, a little slow, 44 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Partly cloudy, breezy, and cold tonight. The low down to 24. It'll be sunny for Friday. Windy and colder, though. The high 34 is going to feel like it's well down in the 20s all day. Becoming cloudy on Friday night. The low down to 16. Saturday, periods of snow in the afternoon. An inch or two during the daylight. The high 31. Then some snow early before periods of sleet and freezing rain overnight. We'll get an additional 1 to 2 inches of snow. There could be power outages and dangerous travel Saturday night. The low down to 26. Sunday, a bit of snow in the morning, little or no additional accumulation, then periods of rain in the afternoon. The high 34. Right now, Danbury at 43, Bridgeport 39. That's 37 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
If better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Does your child need a dentist? Make their first impression a great one at Columbia Dental. In our Manchester and Rocky Hill offices, we specialize in pediatric dentistry, creating a positive and stress-free experience for your little one. Visit ColumbiaDental.com today.
Connecticut hospitals care for more than just patients. They care for our workforce, creating 245,000 jobs. They care for our economy as the largest employer in Connecticut. They care for our communities, connecting residents to health screenings, nutritious food, and stable housing. And they care for our future, making healthcare accessible, equitable, and affordable. Connecticut hospitals create real change by caring for Connecticut. Learn more at caringforct.org.
Happy birthday to us.
1 minute.
This is for you. 2 surprises from NordVPN. 2 surprises for you. Celebrate twice as much with NordVPN. We have a special birthday deal. Get 72% off and a coupon for up to 1 year free. NordVPN is rated as excellent on PC Mag. Visit NordVPN.com and discover one of the most advanced VPNs in the world. What are the benefits? Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. Receive alerts if your email address leaks to the dark web. Reduce the risk of phishing, scams, and malware with NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro tool. Encrypt your online traffic and browse with more. The special birthday deal at NordVPN.com. Additional terms apply. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
It's Reese on the radio. Ask your doctor if common sense is right for you. On News Talk 1080 WTIC.
We're back. It's Reese on the radio, and look, I gotta say this that somebody said that, I think it was Sokolowski. Sokolowski said, "I quit smoking and drinking cold turkey 30 years ago. Just 2 beers for health. Can't remember the last time I was drunk before. It was almost every day until you got kids." Okay. Well, I can tell you, first of all, congratulations. That's a long time. Sorry, applause is wrong. That is a long time. I hope only to get that long. I'm about to celebrate 4 years without a cigarette, and I'm going on 6 years without drinking. So again, that's impressive. I could, again, like I said, I could only hope it go that far. And I quit cold turkey on the smoking thing too, and that it was weird to even say that I'm actually going on 4 years without smoking. A story that I thought wasn't, well, I didn't expect it to lead me in this direction, but I'm going to share it with you. And it had everything to do with the election recently. and it was this story here. There was, I guess, some article that said, let me get it up here so I can read it, from the Gazette. This, of course, in Colorado, if you're familiar with the Gazette. The headline reads, Black men love Trump. Dooms Democrat with 42%, according to a poll. And the article is talking about how African-American men are growing in their support for Donald Trump. Now, we know that there have been some African-American women who this election also showed up for Donald Trump, and it bewildered a lot of people in the Democrat Party. You remember a video we played not too long ago. Let's play it again. These were a group of white women during Inauguration Day who were doing protests, for women. These two women were having a conversation with the folks from Walk Away, talking about how they need to support and incorporate Black women into their message. It went like this.
Black women are probably the least respected in America. Their voices aren't heard. Their issues aren't paid attention to. Many white women look beyond their own personal interests, and they leave Black women out of the conversation. And I think America needs to change about that.
What are we not trusting them to do right now?
How to care for our country, how to care for each other, how to stand up and fight for things that aren't right.
Millions of Black women voted for Trump. Should we trust them?
Millions of Black women voted for Trump?
Way too many. It is.
Should we trust them?
I don't know.
Maybe not trust Black women then.
That's not true.
So she didn't even know how to answer the question. I don't know if we should trust Black women. Well, I thought about that long and hard, and I thought maybe this audio would help her.
I am so tired. You know what? There was an article that just came out that said that actually the most educated demographic in this country right now is Black women. So let me be clear. Because you are a woman, or because I know that some of the right has been sharing these photos of the fact that I believe that the fire chief may be a woman or something, that has nothing to do with it. We are looking at qualifications. What diversity, equity, and inclusion has always been about is saying, you know what? Open this up. Don't just look at the white men. Open it up and recognize that other people can be qualified. And
So again, Jasmine Crockett making a case for Black women. Here's Representative Summer Lee just yesterday also making the case for the Democrat Party and what we need to do. Again, a party not in power is trying to use the bully pulpit to force the hand of the Republican-controlled House, Senate, and executive branch. Oh, and don't forget the judiciary. To what? To promote a failing proposition in reparations.
Our government, no matter who is in power, has an obligation to right these wrongs, to provide reparations for descendants of enslaved Africans, to eliminate the racial wealth gap, to uplift the Black community. White supremacy is rampant in this country. Just look at the current administration and our own legislative body. They have contributed to the social and economic harms, to racial terror Black folks have experienced in this country. Now, more than ever, we must acknowledge and repair those harms.
Now, again, why is it that Black women are being pushed to the forefront on this? Trust me when I tell you they are not taking the lead on their own. I believe that white liberal women are pushing Black women to the forefront because white liberal women have no say. They have no credibility. They're considered awful. They're the worst people to convey the message about racism or equality. Why? Because white women are often frowned upon by Black women. You know, the white woman tears argument. My wife used to tell me about that when we first got together. Damn, these white women in their tears. Black women reject those white women speaking for them. So white women are like, no, just let them know, put the black women in charge, put them on the firing line. These white women are now getting behind the Black women because the Black women will not be criticized. They cannot be criticized. If they're angry and you call them an angry Black woman, oh, you're automatically racist. So again, they're sacrificial in that regard. Johanna Hayes is in the Hartford Courant today. Did you hear what she's talking about? Connecticut Congresswoman leads effort to declare racism as a public health crisis. We've had this discussion, Johanna. We had it. You failed on it. It's not a public health. And why is it a public health issue in the most progressive state on the East Coast, Connecticut? How? How is that possible? The place that does nothing but DEI and protect what they call the most impoverished or the most, underserved groups in the world. They protect the illegals, they protect the blacks, they protect everybody except for whites. Except for whites. And now it's a public health crisis? She's actually running out there saying it. And why won't anyone challenge them on it? It's simple, because they're scared to death of black women. Scared to death. Here's James Carville, and he's 100% right when he says this. There is a plant. There is a plant. There is somebody in there telling the progressives, hey, let's glom on to this. And these groups stupidly jump on board.
I mean, my God. Then we had the famous DNC chair race of, okay, I don't really care. Let me read to you something. Speaking to the Democratic National Committee, which met to select your leadership this weekend, outgoing chair Jamie Harris attempted to explain the point about rules concerning gender balance for his vice chair race. The rules specified if we have a gender non-binary candidate or office, that a non-binary individual is counted as neither male or female, and the remaining 6 offices must be gender balanced, Harrison said. Did I just read this? Of course I did. And do you believe this? Of course you do. Because that's the level of jackassery that, now, does any Democratic candidate? No, I don't even know if Tim Martin himself actually, but they do it. And it's like there's a plant somewhere in, quote, progressive, unquote, America that just sees how many jackass, stupid things that they can embrace. It's stunningly stupid, both of them.
All of it is stunningly stupid, but they'll never check it because they're scared to death. But if you think that's bad, folks, how many of you watch Jesse Waters on Fox News at 8 o'clock? Do any of you watch it? I'm sure a lot of you do. I'm a big fan. My wife and I watch it on DVR, but I'm a big fan of that show. And something caught my eye, and I'm surprised that no one else jumped on it. It was weird, but I made sure that I had the video and the audio of it for you to hear it yourself. DEI has been promoted by black women like the ones I've already played, Joanna Hayes included. This is something that they have been promoting for the rest of us to adhere to. DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. We need it. We gotta have it. Well, on Jesse Waters' program on Monday, he sent his man on the street, Johnny, to none other than Brooklyn, to Brownsville, Brooklyn. I mean, we're talking deep in the heart of Black America. And in that, he was talking about USAID and the government spending that has been running amok. And he asked for about one thing, about some money that was being spent on a DEI program, I think in Ireland. Listen to the response of African Americans on the question of a DEI program that USAID was funding.
They're also spending tons of money on a DEI musical in Ireland. DEI? What the hell is that?
DEI? What's that? What is that? Drug Enforcement Agency? $2
million, I'll dance and I can sing. I'll hit the note if you want me to for $2 million.
And it was just a small little snippet in what can be, I don't know, maybe about a 5-minute clip. He was talking about a DEI program in Ireland. And he was asking people randomly in the street, and they all looked at him and went, what is DEI? So it made me ask myself, wait a minute. These people don't even know what DEI is? The people who were supposed to be benefiting from something that we're all supposed to jump on board with don't even know what it is? How is that possible? And I realized it. We may actually have to investigate this. We may have to go into the hood and ask people in the black communities whether or not they support DEI or do they even know what it is. Because I've got a strange feeling that we're all being duped. We're all being told that DEI is important, but anybody who's supposed to be a beneficiary of it doesn't even know it exists. That's insanity. For those of you who missed it, because I know that you Black Lives Matter folks, I know you listen.
They're also spending tons of money on a DEI musical in Ireland.
DEI? What the hell is that?
DEI? What's that? What is that? Drug Enforcement Agency?
$2 million, I'll dance and I can sing. I'll hit the note if you want me to for $2 million.
They've never heard of it. It's insane. This is crazy, folks. Look, black women are destroying the Democrat Party. Here's why. Because they've been given control of it. And because, as I played earlier, white Democrats refuse to relinquish that power if black women cede hold of it. And when you have an organization, or if you have a group of people who are afraid of a particular demographic, if you have them afraid of that group, you allow them to pretty much run amok. There's no guidance. Nobody's the leader. There are no checks and balances. Maxine Waters, Letitia James, Fannie Willis, Kamala Harris, all of them, they can go out there and go crazy talking about what the Democrat Party needs to do, and not one person will stop them and say, no, we're not going down that line, because they are scared to death. Typical liberal wusses. And I'm sorry. Name the last African-American female leader of the Democrat Party. Michelle Obama? Now, you know damn well that there's never been one. But they'll let these Ayanna Presleys, they'll let Maxine Waters, they'll let them scream and holler and do all the crazy stuff that they're doing, and they will be the face of the party. And they will soon reject everyone. That's the reason why black men are growing. As far as the numbers onto the Democrat side, that's why that number's growing. No one's going to let African-American women lead them in a party. They will leave it in droves. I'm sorry. I told you this before. I said it months ago before the election. People thought I was out of sorts for saying it. It's a fact. If you ever want to see a bunch of people run from a party fast, give it to African-American women. Because the crazy stuff that they're saying on television, Jasmine Crockett is being literally notoriously known from every liberal publication as taking over the most idiotic reaches of the Democrat Party. She is the face of idiocy in the Democrat Party right now, and they keep giving her a microphone. They are going to destroy it single-handedly, and I can't wait to watch. Until they get practical. Bye-bye, folks. That's all I can say. Let's get another check of the traffic with Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Your phone call's coming up next. Hey, Mark.
Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon. If you're heading into Hartford on the southbound side of 91, you're going to see a little slow traffic as you merge onto 84 West at 32 A and B. Northbound 91's quiet. Cromwell, Rocky Hill through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84, just a little slow. Bulkley Bridge up to 46th Avenue. 84 eastbound, once again sluggish. 46th Avenue down to the Bulkley Bridge. 291 through 84, okay. East of the river, 2 eastbound, whipping well Glastonbury into Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. Waterbury just a little slow as you move up on the Mixmaster. 95 southbound New Haven's a little tight between exit 44 and 43 as you move into West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, the rest of our Thursday afternoon, some early showers, otherwise mostly cloudy and milder with the high of 46. Then for tonight, breezy, otherwise partly cloudy and cold, the low dipping down to 25. On Friday, plenty of sun. It'll be windy and colder, though. The high 33 is going to feel like it's down in the 20s at best with the strong west-northwest winds. Then as we head through Friday night, mostly cloudy, the low 15. That sets up Saturday, cloudy and cold. Periods of snow in the afternoon. We'll get an inch or two during the day, the high of 29. Saturday night, some snow early with an additional 1 to 2 inches. Then periods of sleet and freezing rain, the low down to 26. Sunday, cloudy, a bit of snow in the morning, little or no accumulation, then periods of rain in the afternoon, the high of 34. On Monday, a cold wind with cloudy skies, the high of 29, and it's going to feel a lot colder with that strong west-northwest wind. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Odyssey celebrates
Black History Month.
Black History Month. Black History Month.
Two-time Oscar Award-winning actor Denzel Washington said,
"I'm very proud to be black. But black is not all I am. That's my cultural historical background, my genetic makeup. But it's not all of who I am, nor is it the basis from which I answer every question."
Black voices shaped history. For more moments like this, music, and podcasts that matter, go to Odyssey.com/Black History Month or download the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Brought to you with pride by University of Bridgeport. You belong at University of Bridgeport.
And now, a WTIC news update.
38 degrees at 4:30. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. A security incident temporarily shut the terminal at Tweed New Haven Airport today. Turned out to be someone making a remark about a bomb being aboard a flight. Passengers had to be rescreened, flights delayed. The person who made the remark was arrested by New Haven police, charged with breach of peace. The Office of Inspector General investigating an incident in which a Windsor police officer discharged his weapon during a foot pursuit. Officer Brandon Thomas, it was last month, he was checking out a suspicious vehicle, gave chase, asking the suspect about the misuse of a license plate as the suspect exited a convenience store. The OIG says it was during the chase that Thomas ordered the suspect to stop or he'd be tased. The officer fired a shot from his gun. There were no injuries. He could be heard on tape saying he didn't mean to do it, then denied firing the weapon during the arrest. He's on desk duty pending the outcome of an investigation. Norwalk police have arrested a man in connection with the death of a child last year. Under arrest, 27-year-old city resident Kyle Vigno was last June 11th. He called 911, say police, to report a child choking on formula. Investigation later determined the death to be a homicide. Investigators say the 4-month-old suffered from neglect and malnutrition. President Trump's cabinet coming into focus. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. today confirmed as the Health and Human Services Secretary. Linda McMahon, the former 2-time GOP Connecticut Senate nominee, testified in her hearing to be Education Secretary. And Kash Patel is on track to be confirmed as the next director of the FBI. Some U.S. adults consider Valentine's Day outdated, according to an AP poll, but many more say they love the romance and fun of quality time with partners, friends, and extended family. The survey shows that about 3/4 of Americans plan to celebrate tomorrow. Roughly 2 in 10 say outdated. Sums up Valentine's Day quite nicely. On Wall Street, markets finished up today. The Dow ahead 342 points. The NASDAQ gained 295, and the S&P was up 63 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Seems everything costs more these days.
One minute.
Reese, and when's the last time you
Thanks,
checked
sir.
your wireless bill? Yikes.
When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
If you want jazz music, go to New Orleans. Bagels, New York. And for psychics, think California Psychics. You want the best, you go to the best. At California Psychics, home of free spirits and open minds, we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. That's why we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We're back. It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC. Stick around. We're going to get to the phones because they are lit up and ready to go. So there's so much stuff for you guys to opine about. So make sure that you stick around. If the lines are busy, that's okay. Just call up in a little bit and we will get to those phone calls. I promise you. By the way, if you'd like an opportunity to win a trip for 4 on the Disney Destiny, winning is easy. All you have to do is download the Odyssey app if you haven't done it already, and you listen to WTIC News Talk 1080 for 1 hour a day. That is 1 hour a day, and that automatically makes you eligible to win. And it is a daily entry. So one lucky listener will win a trip of 4 to set sail on the Disney Destiny Cruise Line. This is a national contest because I know we have a lot of people who listen to the show across the fruited plain, which I'm very, very happy and appreciative of, that there are so many of you. They listen in California, they listen in Nevada, South Carolina, and of course in St. Louis. So, that's the beauty of radio today. So I appreciate that. And listen, tell your friends about Reese on the radio. You guys are kind enough to check out the show. Don't keep it to yourself. You should share, And I've got to inject Roland as often as I possibly can into the program. Roland, let me ask you this. This is something that I've been thinking about for the longest. So, and I didn't even inject you into this yesterday. So tell me if I'm getting this right.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think that there's a little too much over-explaining of the Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl halftime show?
What you mean over-explaining?
Like, I almost feel like it's almost been a week since the Super Bowl halftime show, and people are still trying to explain it. If not explain it, defend it, or, they seem to be playing offense on the whole thing. I don't seem to get it because I'm like, it's done, it's over, it happened. But I feel like there's this incessant need by people to, if not defend it, but explain it. Like, I'm watching people do Venn diagrams I saw one young lady do an entire TikTok on every facet of the program, explaining how one thing melded into the other. And I'm going, this is a halftime show. What's the big deal? Am I missing something? Why is this so important?
Because people want others to get the metaphor and all the similes that were involved in all the little intricate schemes that he had planned in the Super Bowl to show black culture and, all of that good stuff.
So do they believe
that
it's...
you to understand it, and if people keep saying it's bad, then they're trying to let you know, no, it's not bad, and these are the reasons why, because you wasn't smart enough to look into it to be able to understand what it was trying to portray. So
okay, so but why not just let us be ignorant and what I'm saying? It's like we didn't get it, just leave it alone. I almost feel like if you're explaining, you're losing. Right? This is like, okay, I didn't get it. And they go, well, the reason why you didn't get it because you're dumb. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do?
I know.
You can't, it's everybody in the same, they're all in the same circle, so they all get it.
Yeah.
So now they're trying to enforce that on to others.
Yes, everybody has to understand it.
Exactly. Got to prove my point.
Exactly. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Maybe one day he'll explain to me the Grateful Dead. I don't get
Oh,
it.
don't call. I have no idea what it all means either.
Can I tell you my favorite joke about the Grateful Dead?
What? Yeah, I want to. It's got to be better than the bagel joke.
Oh, hey! What did the Grateful Dead fans say when all the drugs ran out?
We got to go on a sabbatical. I don't know.
This music sucks.
People love it, though. They have a hell of a following. I mean, people follow them all over the country.
I went to one concert at Madison Square Garden. Let me just explain to you. Whippets are a headache. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, okay. There's a great story when Bill Russell played Bill Russell. God almighty. Geez, this is dementia setting in on me here.
Too many concerts.
Probably when Bill Walton played for the Celtics, he took the whole team to see a Dead concert, and apparently they had an incredible time because Walton was like almost a member of the Grateful Dead. He knew all the guys, and he got backstage, and I guess apparently many of the Celtics, including the chief Robert Parrish, who
really.
Just absolutely fell in love with the band. So
that's
crazy.
Cool well, that makes Robert Parrish was a weird kind of guy.
Yeah, Robert liked to have a little fun.
Yeah,
so.
That was probably right up his alley.
Exactly. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, 84 eastbound, slowing 46th Avenue into the tunnel. Westbound 84 slowing coming out of the tunnel downtown out to 46th Avenue. Both sides of 91 moving well. Cromwell up into Windsor Locks. 291 through 84 okay. 2 eastbound, no problems. Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. 84 westbound Waterbury, a little slow at the Mixmaster. 95 South New Haven, slowing 46 down to 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
If you or a loved one has been the victim of medical malpractice, know that you are not alone. Call 1-800-HAYMOND, and they will get you the answers and advice you deserve. Attorney John Haymond is your legal authority in medical malpractice. Call 1-800-HAYMOND.
WTIC weather.
Breezy tonight, partly cloudy and cold, the low down to 24. Lots of sunshine Friday, a windy and colder day, the high 34. Going to feel like it's well down in the 20s with a strong and cold west-northwest wind. Very cold for us on Friday night, the low down to 16. Now Saturday, periods of snow in the afternoon. We'll get an inch or two during the daylight, the high 31. Saturday night, some snow early, then mixing with some periods of sleet and freezing rain, an additional 1 to 2 inches, the low down to 26. Sunday, a bit of snow in the morning, little or no additional accumulation, so a storm total of 2 to 4 inches, followed by periods of rain in the afternoon, a high of 34 for us as we head into Sunday. Right now, it's 37 in Mansfield, Bristol at 38, 39 in New London, 37 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
If better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief.
You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
For quality vinyl siding, the Peter L. Brown Company is your best choice. It's winter, and we need to keep our crews busy, so ask us about our winter specials. Please visit peterlbrown.com for roofing, siding, windows, and doors.
1 minute.
Have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
It's Reese on the radio. Ask your doctor if common sense is right for you. On News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Also, tomorrow on tomorrow's program, make sure you check us out at 4:05, well, just after 4:05. My former boss and public relations savant, Angelo Ellerby, will be on the program. I'm going to ask him, of course, about his new book called Before I Let You Go, which is a story about him, how he came to be, and I think a little bit about some of the work that he's done. So it's pretty much how he got into public relations. And I'm going to ask him politically how, people like Republicans or people in this state can actually get things that they want. One of the biggest things I talk about is how do we get our message across to people? And Angelo is just one of those guys. He taught me the game of public relations and how to get not just your message, but the thing that you're out there working. One of the things he used to say was, everybody has a story to tell, but do you have a story to sell? Because the story's got to sell. When you're in the public relations business, it's got to sell subscriptions. It's got to sell newspaper articles. It's got to sell something about you. So that was one of the things he taught me. So he'll be on the program tomorrow talking about his new book. Before I Let You Go, Angelo Ellerby will be in the house. Now, let's get to the telephones. Tom is in Thomaston. How we doing, sir?
Hey, I am well, thanks. Hey, I am a 100% certified white man. I will follow any intelligent black woman to the top of any mountain, but I would never follow a unintelligent woman like that when you played across the street.
Which one? Are you talking about the educated black woman? Yeah.
The educated black woman. Yeah.
Again, I remember the first time I played it, and there was a young man who called up in West Hartford who said that, she's actually hiding the ball on that statement. Yes, African-American women are the most educated, meaning they are the most that are in college. The numbers are overwhelming of black women who are in colleges and universities. However, they don't do very well. In fact, they have some of the highest dropout rates. I actually looked at a statistic not too long ago. My son's ex-girlfriend is thinking about joining an HBCU. Out of 35 historically black colleges and universities, only 3 of them have a graduation rate above 48%. The rest of them are 45 and below. So it's like there's plenty of them in the colleges, but they're not doing very well.
Yeah, it's an indictment on our whole education system.
Indeed.
What are we? We're 40th worldwide.
Yep, and number 1 in cost per student.
Yeah, number 1 in cost. So maybe it is a good idea to get rid of the Department of Education and put all that money into the states. Let the states do it.
Indeed, I think I want to see what the layout is. Like exactly how they would put each state in charge. I think we haven't reached there yet, but we're going to get a confirmation of Linda McMahon without a doubt.
And you know what? I'll take that back. You keep the Department of Education, but it does almost nothing. It just oversees the states that aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, the only thing, you're right. The only thing it should be able to do is to dole out the money, but they should not set curriculums. That should be left to the state. I'll even go so far as this, Tom. How about this idea? Because I thought about this when they were talking about, leaving it to the states. You could almost compete as a state to be the better education hub in the country. In essence, like parents can go, where's the best place to raise my child where they'll not only get an education, but they'll do better in life? Have it be Hartford, or have it be Connecticut, have it be New Hampshire versus Vermont, for the best education, but let those guys be in charge of it. Run it like a local business.
Yeah, or even someone said that on a show I watched last night or the other day, and even like New York.
Yeah.
Upstate New York is a lot more conservative, and parts of, Staten Island, that's a lot more conservative. So, let the state decide the local areas, and the people will go to where the best is. You're right. So that's the way to do it. Not have this national monarch that we got now.
The national model. Right. It's done nothing in the years that it's been there. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate you, sir. Let's go to Larry, who's in Wallingford. How we doing, Larry?
I'm doing very good. I wanted to talk about the education that you started out with, the whole thing. And again, it to me, a lot of money's being spent on illegals that could be spent on people in including black and everything else. Just look at what just happened at UConn.
Yeah.
The young lady there got into UConn, couldn't read or write, out of Hartford schools.
Yeah.
How many millions and millions of dollars are spent to educate the kids in Hartford schools?
Yeah.
But again, go back on how much is actually being spent on what they consider special ed.
Yes. Which again is now sort of melded into English as a second language. That's considered special ed now.
Yes. And that just absolutely, coming from Wyndham, I moved from Wyndham to Wallingford. And coming from Wyndham, where I'll never, ever forget this, we had an older gentleman at the Board of Education meeting, looked right at the superintendent, and this was when our grades were down. They put Adamowski in charge from the state and all that stuff. And he looked at her and he goes, how much would it cost to raise our scores 10%? Do you know the superintendent of schools could not answer that question?
Really?
Yes. And you look at, I mean, all these, and I'm not blowing smoke. You can
I
go
hear
back and look at all the meetings because they're recorded.
Yeah,
and as I said, now again, this is quite a few years ago, but look at the different school systems and who is the mayor or first selectman or whatever you want to call it, and those school systems that are failing, and 99% of them are Democrats.
Yeah. You know what?
I call a failing school system if you can't raise your scores by 1% per year. That's failing.
Yeah, I agree. You brought up something interesting about the fact that now you have the state, if not the country, now funding illegals in the state. When Mark Fitch from Inside Investigators wrote that piece that he did, you could find it now at insideinvestigators.org. What he found was interesting, and he was talking about the college ranks, but I think they also apply in the public school ranks. If you have an illegal child inside the school system and they are getting a high school diploma, by not being legal, the high school diploma is de facto nothing. It's worthless with that diploma because, again, they can't be hired for anything because they have no social security number. They don't even exist, if you will, as a resident of the state because, in essence, they're living in the shadows. Even though they're living in the open air, they're living in the shadows. So they can't be hired at a regular job. So it's like, oh, I have a high school diploma. Okay, what's the social security number? Well, I don't have one. I'm an illegal. Well, without the social security number, the diploma is worthless. And then they're putting them out into the college ranks, also still not having a social security number, and they get out with a bachelor's degree or an associate's degree, still meaning nothing. So we're paying for meaningless sheepskin.
Exactly. And unfortunately, in Connecticut, most of that money is coming directly from the taxpayer.
Exactly.
And what kills me is, and let me tell you a little story here, and I'll be real quick. I went to more Wyndham selectmen meetings than the people on the board.
Wow.
And I can prove this because in the meeting, I actually said that to our manager, Tom, who I won't go into his last name.
Yeah.
But anyways, and believe it or not,
So wait a minute, were there just empty seats on the board? It was just like one or two people showing up?
They didn't bother showing up.
Wow.
Or they had an excuse. We had 3 teachers on the board that decided all of a sudden, hey, we're doing this after COVID, and we don't want to show up at the meetings anymore. We want all these meetings to be Zoom meetings now, so we don't have to leave our house, and we can do whatever we want and come up with that. And then half of the time, they never showed up in the meeting until an hour after the meeting started.
It's like Copland.
So it's just a bunch of garbage as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But going back on the teachers, this is what actually kills me. I have 2 teachers in my family, my kids. And one of them, and I won't tell you the school system, the administration said, you will not fail any student.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that a little bit.
Administration.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when she went to the union, what do you think the union said about that?
Nothing, probably.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, God forbid, how could you fail a student, especially a minority student, with you being white? Teacher. This whole thing kills me about hiring more minorities teachers, which I'm all for. I worked with, believe me, I worked at a high education factory, or I'm going to say a utility that required us to have I had to have literally 3 months of education every year to maintain my qualifications.
Wow.
In this place. Now, I became actually an instructor for 20-some years at this same place. So, but I can't teach in Connecticut. Even though I can teach any place in the United States to adults at a nuclear power plant,
you can't teach inside the school.
A third grader how to do math.
Yeah. Larry, thank you.
Even though I taught
I thank you, buddy. I want to get one more call in here. Thank you, boss man. I appreciate you. Let me go to, is that Scott is that Colchester?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir.
Hey,
How
Scott.
are ya?
Hey, how you doing, Scott?
Good. You know, anybody born after 1980, maybe 1975, would have missed. The last caller, Wallingford. I went to Wallingford school systems in the 60s.
Wow.
60s. Let me tell you something. All the people after 1975 who were born missed a big opportunity. Big, because today's schools, I'm not gonna pounce on you with volume.
Right.
But I'm just gonna say today's school systems are far cry from what school was like back then, back in the 60s, before all of the ugly started to come in. I don't want to go into every detail about what's ugly.
Scott,
I'll tell you one thing, professionalism.
Let me ask you.
Professionalism in the state of Connecticut dropped dramatically.
Scott, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this,
ahead,
and
buddy.
I think this is the perfect. As I'm listening to you and listening to Larry, do you know how they say in real estate? They say the buyer's market or the seller's market. I'm sure you're familiar with that term.
Sure.
I think that what you and Larry are describing in the education system is that there used to be a time where it used to be a student market, and now what we're watching with the teachers union is the teachers market, where all of the money seems to be going to them or going to the union, and it's not going to the children. Because all it is they're just funneling these kids straight through the system while they ask for and collect more and more money.
The teachers back then were, I would say, they weren't going on the radio. They weren't protesting. They came in because they went to a college, came back with an experience, shared whatever that was. There was nobody graduating if you were failing.
Yeah.
That is for shitting sure. No, it was not.
Thank you, boss man. I got to take a break coming up. I'm sorry, I had to cut everybody off. I think that's the case. I think now that it's become such a bureaucracy that all of us screaming and hollering about teachers, even the parents are doing it now, screaming and hollering. The teachers need more money. For what? And when you ask people, they can't seem to answer it. What do they need more money for? To keep them in the building? I would say if it's one thing to keep them in the building, you're giving them more money. But I'm saying that there should at least be a product. Sort of like asking for a raise at any business, I would expect the productivity to go up. We're seeing it go down. That's all I'm saying. We'll take a break. More news, more views in the 5 o'clock hour. When we return, it's Reese on the radio. Here's Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Give me that salary for 9 months of work. I'll take it. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Exactly.
Don't get me wrong. It's not an easy job, and I realize that, but it's a nice salary for working 9 months out of the year.
Indeed.
It really is. Both of my parents were teachers, and
really,
maybe I should have went into. Yeah, well, my dad was an administrator too, but his first love was teaching. He had to feed 4 kids. That's why he became an administrator.
Let me tell you why traffic is the best thing for you, because guess what? You get paid whether or not traffic improves or not.
Right. Exactly.
In fact, if it gets worse, you're more valuable.
Exactly. You know what? But I'll tell you what, if I could get that salary for 9 months of work.
I hear you. I'm with you too.
But anyways, I love my job and I love what I do, and all the teachers hate me now, and I apologize, but maybe we can be friends down the road again. Westbound 84 got delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney, 84 eastbound, slowing about a half mile before 46th Avenue into the tunnel. 91 southbound got delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound 91 moving well, Cromwell up into Windsor. 291 through 84 east of the river moving well. 2 eastbounds in great shape, Glastonbury to Marlboro. Quiet Middletown. Westbound 84 a little tight as you approach the Bulkley Bridge. As you approach the Mixmaster in Waterbury. 91 southbound a little tight by exit 7 in New Haven. 95 southbound you got delays 46 to 44. And southbound on the Parkway, look out for an accident now. It looks like it is southbound between exit 63 and 62 southbound on the Parkway in North Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8 WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by Staples.
Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $250 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 4/5. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
It's 5 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News, WTIC Weather Center forecast. It's breezy and partly cloudy tonight with lows in the mid-20s. We'll close it out on Friday with sunshine, windy conditions, colder too, highs in the low 30s, and then we got some snow and a real mess in here for the weekend. The forecast details coming up. The State Inspector General's office has released police body cam footage of a Windsor officer who apparently mistakenly fired his gun during a foot pursuit. It was January 30th when Officer Brandon Thomas spotted a vehicle in a convenience store lot without the proper license plate.
124.
Damn, what up, y'all? This y'all, huh? This plate don't match, man. Hold on. Where you going? Hold on.
The suspect runs away into Keeney Park. Thomas tells the suspect to stop or he'll be tased, firing one shot from his weapon instead. Thomas can be heard on video saying he didn't mean to do that, but denying he fired the gun at Giovanni Nunez during the arrest. Nunez was arrested for interfering in possession of a controlled substance. There were no injuries. That investigation is ongoing. Police in Norwalk are charging a city man in connection with the death of a child last year. Under arrest is 27-year-old Kyle Vignow. It was last June 11th. The police say he called 911 to report the child choking. He said he performed CPR for several minutes prior to making the call. The infant later died at Norwalk Hospital. The police say their subsequent investigation determined the death of the 4-month-old to be a homicide. Investigators say the baby suffered from neglect and malnutrition, among other complications. Vignow charged with manslaughter, risk of injury, and cruelty to persons. He is due in court February 27th. The State Committee on Children is considering a Don't Ban Library Books Act. Democratic State Senate Majority Leader Bob Duff testified in favor of the plan, which would allow librarians to decide what goes on the shelves while being protected from threats and harassment over book challenges.
Now, opponents argue that book banning is necessary to keep lewd books from children, but this is really just a cover to ban freedom of thought. School libraries do not and never will carry X-rated material.
But Republican State Representative Gail Francesco insists some books reaching school libraries do include lewd contents.
Obviously, we want children to go into the library and learn. But it is a fact that there are books in the school libraries that are inappropriate for children. They're inappropriate. They're not age appropriate.
Just as some librarians face threats from those in favor of book bans, Dupp says he's received threats for his support of the bill. U.S. Attorney in Manhattan and 2 other Washington prosecutors resigned today after refusing an order from the Justice Department to drop the corruption case against New York City Mayor Eric Adams.
We've heard the Trump administration saying that they want to depoliticize the Justice Department. But what we see happening today, at least in the Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office, is a clear sign that there's a lot of politics going on with this new administration, and people are willing to resign because of it.
Former federal prosecutor and Loyola Law's Lori Levinson. Senate today confirmed Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to be the nation's top health official. He was sworn in at the White House by President Trump, the vote largely along party lines, with Mitch McConnell being the lone GOP senator to vote no. Kennedy spoke afterward.
People are reacting because they hear things about me that aren't true. They hear characterizations of things that I've said that are simply not true. When they hear what I have to say, actually, about vaccines, everybody supports it.
And he has questioned vaccines in the past. Some Republicans also concerned about Kennedy's stance on abortion. A bill from Senator Chris Murphy would establish a permanent National Office of Gun Violence Prevention. That's after the Trump administration disbanded the office created under former President Joe Biden. Sandy Hook survivor Matt Holden spoke at a Capitol Hill rally earlier today.
My community and communities from every zip code in this nation know too well why this legislation is essential. Over 1.2 million Americans have been shot since Sandy Hook, and guns are still the leading cause of death for children and teens.
Now, former officials at the White House office say it achieved a historic decrease in gun violence. Holden and others say the administration's dismantling that progress, putting Americans' lives at risk. Many grocery stores starting to react to record high egg prices amid bird flu outbreaks. Highland Park Market's Molly Devaney says they've considered limits on items but haven't implemented any yet.
We seem to be okay at this point, but we're just, again, taking things day by day, just because every, when we get the cost that comes out, you're just, okay, are people really going to pay that? And it's heartbreaking. It really is.
Devaney says they've had to reevaluate other prices accordingly, like quiches. She also says they're trying to keep egg prices as low as possible, hoping customers will pick up some other items to make up for the loss they may take on eggs. Wall Street, the markets finished up this afternoon. The Dow gained 342 points. NASDAQ was up 295, and the S&P was up 63 points. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Texting enrolls you into
1 minute.
text messages. Consent not required
Thank
to
you.
purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Man, I'm in a slump. My energy took a nosedive out of nowhere, and I just don't have the motivation to get things done.
You're over 40. Could be lower testosterone. Have you tried Nugenix Total T?
Nugenix, the testosterone booster on TV?
That's right. Look, I felt the same plunge in my energy after I turned 40, so I tried out Nugenix to see if it would help me.
Did Nugenix make a difference for you?
Night and day. My stamina's way up now. I'm building lean muscle at the gym. I'm totally back on my game. And you could be too. Just send a text to Nugenix. They'll send you a complimentary bottle so you can try it for yourself.
Text LEAP to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart.
You're going to be going literally right to traffic.
Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free.
And
LEAP to 321-321. That's LEAP to 321-321.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
When we come back, I've actually got an interesting story real quick talking about Democrats when it comes to news, which is an interesting story because I've been talking about this a lot, and now there is evidence to support what I've been saying for a long time, and that is where people are getting their news and who is listening to what. And it's a very, very crazy story coming out of the Western Journal. We'll talk about that in a little bit, so stand by for that. I'm going to go offline for a little bit for those of you who are watching inside the chat room. So join us at the Odyssey app, or you can go to WTIC.com. I've got something weird going on with my computer, so I apologize for you guys. Let's get another check of the traffic with Mark Christopher at the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading in toward the Hartford area right now, overall, we're doing very well. We'll start off on the southbound side of I-91. You just see a little slowdown between 33 and 32. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell